Hey guys, welcome back to Cloud Deep Dive. In today's video, we will discuss how you can reduce EBS cost from your AWS monthly bills. Before we start talking about how you can reduce EBS cost, let's first understand what EBS is, its different types, and its pricing. EBS is a cloud-based storage provided by AWS that is best used for storing persistent data. EBS are attached to EC2 instances that enable you to keep data persistently on a file system even after you shut down your EC2 instance. Even if you stop your EC2 instance, data will still be saved on EBS volume. Now, as we understand what EBS is, let's talk about different types of EBS volumes. So there are two types of EBS volume, hard disk drive and solid state drive. Within hard disk drive, there are two different categories, throughput optimized and cold HDD. And within solid state drive, you get general purpose SSD and provisioned IOPS SSD. All these different types of EBS volume has their own use case. Based on your need and requirement, you can choose which type of EBS volume you would like to use along with your EC2 instance. Now let's talk about the pricing, how the pricing work for EBS volume. To understand EBS pricing, I open pricing and calculator page from AWS documentation. AWS charges for provision storage, IOPS, and throughput based on EBS types. These prices may vary based on the region you are working from. As you can see from the AWS pricing page, AWS will charge for storage, IOPS, and throughput for GP3 types of volume. For GP2 types of volume, you will be charged only for the storage, not for the IOPS and throughput. For the IO2 type of volume, you will be charged for the storage and IOPS. And they have three different tier within the IOPS. Like first 32,000 IOPS will be charged at $0.65 per IOPS per month. The next 32,000 will be charged at this rate 0.046, and then after that, after 64,000 IOPS, you will be charged for $0.032 per provisioned IOPS per month. IO1 will be charged on two factors. One is storage and another one is provision IOPS per month. Throughput, optimized HSD and cold HSD, they both are charged only on the provisioned storage. So let's go to the calculator and see how the pricing works. I am in Ohio region, and here we can see that I've selected for one instance, and AWS consider that for one instance there will be 730 hours in a month. So that's why we have 730 value here. So 730 hours per month. Now let's try to calculate price for GP2. GP2 for 30 GB of worth of storage, and I don't want any snapshot in that. And if we see the calculation is straightforward, it's 10 cents per gigabyte per month, and for 30 GB of storage you will be paying $3 per month. If I go and select IO1 type of EBS volume, then you have to provide how many IOPS you will be using, because IO1 is charged based on the storage and IO1 IOPS. So let's say I'm saying that I will be using 1000 IOPS. So you can see here in the calculation, you are charged based on the storage, which is $3.75 per month for 30 GB. And on top of that, you will be charged for the IOPS. 1000 IOPS for 1 month, one instance per month, like kind of for 1 month. And IOPS are charged as $0.065 per IOPS. So $65 you'll be paying for the IOPS. So the total of six $65 you'll be paying, and the total of $68.75 USD you'll be paying for 30 GB EBS volume and with 1000 IOPS. So that's how the price is calculated for EBS volumes. Now, as we understand how pricing work for EBS volumes, now let's see what are the different ways you can use to reduce the cost. First thing you should look for is to get rid of orphaned EBS volumes. What does it mean by orphaned EBS volumes? These are the unused EBS volumes which are not attached to any EC2 instance and costing you money. A great first step is to save money is to get rid of these type of EBS volumes. So what are the different approach you can take to get rid of these orphaned EBS volumes? One way is you can straight away go ahead and delete these volumes if you are sure that the data stored on these volumes are no longer required. Or you can take a safer approach as well, where you can first take a snapshot and then terminate the volume, and the snapshots will be cheaper as compared to EBS volumes. Now the question comes, for big organizations, there are many accounts and which are where the workloads are working or executing in different regions. How we can identify all these volumes from all these different accounts in different regions. So one of the suggestion which I can make here is you can use AWS config. AWS config has a rule where you can identify that list me all the unused or available volumes. It can give you all the list of volumes which are not attached to an EC2 instance. And then you can use AWS config aggregator to get all the list from all the accounts in all the regions. And then you can take some remediation action on that based on the two approaches we just discussed. So the next question comes, why we have these orphan EBS volumes? To demonstrate that, I logged into my AWS console and I went to services and EC2 instance, and I'm trying to launch a new EC2 instance. So let's select this AMI. We can select E2 micro, which is free. I leave defaults on this page and here. So by default, AWS will add one root volume of 8 GB or based on your instance size. And there is a checkbox called delete on termination. So what does that mean? That means that when you terminate this EC2 instance, this EBS volume will be deleted automatically. If you uncheck this box, in that case, if you terminate this EC2 instance, your volume won't be deleted or won't be cleaned up automatically. You have to do that. You have to go ahead and delete those volumes automatically. So let's check that box and let's add another volume. So whenever you're adding any new volume in addition to your root volume, this delete on termination checkbox is not clicked. And what does that mean? Whenever you delete this EBS or whenever you terminate this EC2 instance, only root volume will be deleted automatically, and the other two volumes attached to it won't be deleted or automatically. And these will be lying in your account as the orphaned images. So you have to make sure that either you enforce a policy in your organization that everyone click on this delete on termination based on your use case. And if not, then you have to use one of the policy or one of the way which we discussed just now, that how you can get rid of these orphaned images or orphaned EBS volumes. So the next way of saving money is by finding out all the stopped EC2 instances. Now you might be wondering that why we are talking about stopped EC2 instances while the topic we are discussing here is about EBS volumes. Yes. So the answer is AWS does charge to you guys on EBS volumes even if your EC2 instances are in stop state. You can terminate these instances if you want to save that money. So what happened that whenever you launch an EC2 instance, you get a root volume attached to it. And when you stop these instances, AWS will stop charging you for the instance, but they will charge you for the EBS volume because the EBS volume is still attached to your EC2 instance. It's not deleted. It will be deleted only when you terminate your EC2 instance. So these volumes are will be charged and they will keep on charging until you terminate those EC2 instances. So if you have any such instances in your organization which are stopped, you can go ahead and terminate those EC2 instances if you no longer need those instances, and you can reduce wasted spend for EBS volumes for those type of EC2 instances. And it happens in an organization that developers sometimes they launch EC2 instances, and after that we all forget to terminate it because it's not running, and we sometimes we forget that EBS volumes are attached to it and they're costing money. So that's another way you can find out all those EC2 instances and start saving some money. Now question comes how I can identify all those EC2 instances which are stop state. Again, AWS config has a rule in there which you can leverage, and it provide you all the EC2 instances based on like you can specify that give me all the EC2 instances which are stopped for more than 30 days, and it will list out all the EC2 instances and you can take any remediation actions on that. Next way of saving some money for EBS volumes are by finding out aged EBS snapshots. All organizations regularly take EBS snapshots for backup purpose and to use in case of disaster and data recovery. These backups get outdated over time and of no use from a recovery standpoint. Even though snapshot doesn't cost much money, but its this cost can grow quickly when many snapshots are taken. So what we should do, organizations should plan it out to get rid of these old snapshots and should get some standards set within the organization that how many old snapshots should be retained per volume, and anything older than that particular number should be deleted to avoid any extra cost. So now how we can do that? We can use data lifecycle manager for that. We can define policies in that which can help you to take the snapshot regularly, and you can also specify in there that how many snapshot you want to retain, and any number beyond that provided number, any snapshot beyond that provided number will be deleted automatically. So you can leverage data lifecycle manager to define your policies and delete your aged EBS snapshots. Select right sizing. That's another way to optimize the storage cost. What we need to do is to identify volumes that are underutilized and then downsizing them. How we can downsize? That means that either you can reduce the IOPS for that EBS volume or change the volume type, maybe from IO1 to maybe we can go to GB2 based on our requirement. Now, how we can identify that what all volumes are underutilized? Trusted Advisor provide a check called underutilized Amazon EBS volumes, and that's a great tool to identify which volumes are underutilized. There are several other tips which I can share here with you to optimize your EBS volumes. The first one is if you're using GP2 type volume, then you can optimize these volumes for capacity so that you are paying only for what you use. As GP2 volumes are based on the capacity, so you should provision what you need. And what does that mean? That don't over provision storage for your GP2 type volumes, just provision only storage what you need. Second one is with provisioned IOPS SST IO1 volume, you have to pay close attention to the IOPS utilization. Suppose you provisioned 1000 IOPS for an IO1 type volume because you are paying directly for the IOPS as well along with your storage. And if you have over provisioned those IOPS and you've never used those many IOPS, then you will be paying extra money on those. So you have to adjust your IOPS provisioning for those EBS volumes to make sure that you are not overpaying. Next step you can take, or next way you can do it, you can save some money by reducing provisioned IOPS or by switching from provisioned IOPS SSTIO1 volume to the GP2. And what does that mean? Like I mentioned the last step as well, that either you can reduce your provisioned IOPS, or if you want, you can switch to from IO1 to GP2 as well, because GP2 also provide you IOPS as we do in IO1. The only difference is in IO1 you get IOPS at a ratio of 50:1, and in GP2 you get IOPS at a ratio of 3:1. So if you don't require those many IOPS, you can also take advantage of or by switching it to GP2 and pay only for the storage instead of paying additional money for your IOPS. The next step you can take it, if you need high IOPS and you're using IO1, then you can also check out the IO2 type volume. The difference between IO1 and IO2 is IO2 provide you better durability and performance, and its IOPS ratio is more than IO1. Where IO1 provide only 50:1, that means that with 1 GB you can have maximum of 50 IOPS. With IO2 type volume, for the same 1 GB volume, you can get 500 IOPS. And I'll give you a demo as well on this to show you that how it works and how you can save some money. So let's go and to our console and look at the how we can save money by using from IO1 to IO2. So guys, I logged into my AWS console and I am trying to create a new volume. So I select a IOP1 type volume. Suppose I need the IOPS of 6000 IOPS, and to get the 6000 IOPS, I have to set my size as 120. If I go anything lesser than 120, it will give you an error or it will reduce your IOPS. Suppose with 119 GB, if I try to get 6000 IOPS, it will give you an error because the maximum IOPS it can support is 119 multiplied by 50. So suppose you need a requirement for 6000 IOPS, then you have to go bare minimum of 120 GB of IO1 type volume. Even though you don't require that much of storage, but that's kind of limit and you have to provision this much of storage. But if we switch to IO2 type volume, let's see. So the same 6000 IOPS you can get with 12 GB of storage only. So you can see the difference with IO1, you need to have 100 and 120 GB, but with IO1, the same IOPS you can get in 12 GB. And there you will pay less price for storage in IO2. So you are straight away saving the price for 108 GB worth of storage if you choose IO2 as compared to IO1. And the next thing we discussed earlier that you can switch from IO1 to GP2 as well. So the GP2 type volumes, they also provide you the IOPS, but the maximum is the 3000 IOPS you can get it. If your requirement is somewhere lying between 100 to 3000 IOPS, so you can also switch to GP2 type volume and save some money. So that's it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching this video. And if you like it and you found it helpful, please share it with your friends and hit the like button. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon to get the latest updates. If you have any comments or question, please post in the comment section and I will be happy to answer your question. Thank you. Bye.